एग्जाम पे चर्चा में आपका स्वागत है. Today we have Mr. Soumitra Roy with us. He is a South Asia advisor in Prometric and he is managing the examinations of CELPIP and CAEL. Over to Soumitra Roy. Soumitra, we want to hear about CELPIP from you. Tell us something about yourself and then the examination.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here, Nishant. And, I'm looking forward to your show.
Yeah, please tell us about yourself and about the examination.
So, Nishant, I have been with Prometric since 2004. And in my present role, I'm the senior advisor of CELPIP and CAEL, these programs which I manage in South Asia. And I'm helping Prometric to help students in turn and aspirants to immigrate for PR and residency into Canada.
Lovely, lovely. So let's go to the examination straight away. Now, this video is all about CELPIP examination. The full form of CELPIP is Canadian English Language Test for Canadian Immigration, and the full form is Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program.
Right.
You are watching exampecharcha. If you haven't followed our YouTube channel, I would recommend you to follow, share, and comment our posts, which are very useful. We have this world-class blog, which you must visit, and we have this Instagram handle. The links of all these are in the description box below. Today, our guest is Mr. Soumitra Roy. He is handling CELPIP and CAEL programs as a senior advisor for South Asia in the company called Prometric, which is responsible for conducting these examinations globally. Over to Soumitra. Soumitra, tell us something about the examination first.
Right. And Nishant, before I start, a little about Prometric and Paragon, who actually have developed this world-class test. And actually, at this point of time, Paragon is part of Prometric, and the brands are managed by Prometric for the entire globe at this point of time. Both CELPIP, CELPIP, and CAEL, CAEL. All right?
Wonderful. So let's talk about CELPIP examination. So tell us about the exam.
Yeah, so this exam is basically for 3 hours, and it is completed in one sitting. There is no break in the exam. And we wanted to be very friendly to test takers. So we did not want them to come back again and take any other section later. So once you are done with this test, in 3 hours, you can leave the test center.
So Soumitra, 3 hours is a pretty long time to sit in front of the computer. Don't you think the people get tired?
We've never really seen that, honestly, Nishant, because, and it never gets boring because most of the time, the sections, they keep changing dynamically. And, you'll have very, very interesting questions which test your English language proficiency. So it doesn't get boring for aspirants at all.
So you test the English in a fun way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole idea. It's very conversational, like you and I are talking,
Right. That's a beautiful thing. That's absolutely a beautiful thing. Let's talk about the individual sections of the examination. So the first section that a person encounters is listening, right?
Yes. Right. And the listening section, Nishant, it has 38 questions, and it's in 6 parts. And basically, it's a time, 50 minute ki time hoti hai, and we've seen people, with ease completing this section in 50 minutes.
And the next section is reading.
Reading, yes, and very important as part of English language proficiency. So reading is again 38 questions, and इसमें 4 parts होते हैं, and the time taken is 55 minutes for this section.
And then it's writing.
Writing, basically, इस section पे 2 tasks होते हैं, and 55 minute पे ये section खत्म होता है, which is 55 minutes again, and we've never encountered any issues with this section either.
Okay, last is speaking.
Speaking, 8 questions, and which has 8 tasks, and not a very long speaking session, and it's also, as I said, completed in a single sitting, and the time taken is 20 minutes.
So the total examination takes about 180 minutes to get completed.
Correct.
Great. That's absolutely great. So let's talk about the USP of CELPIP. Why should a person choose CELPIP?
So, Nishant, this is the biggest thing going in our favor. It's a Canadian English language test. It's a Canadian test for immigration and permanent residency to Canada for professional designations, and it's homegrown in Canada. So it's been developed in Canada, and it's the only Canadian English language test for testing English language proficiency. Once again, completed in a single sitting of 3 hours.
And what about the speaking?
No separate speaking test date is required. And many candidates have come back to me and asking me whether they have to go back and take a speaking session later. Absolutely not. I mean, once done, you're completely done and dusted. And the other thing, very quick online results within 4 to 5 calendar days.
That's wonderful. So that means you evaluate the whole thing using a machine or using a human?
It's basically a combination of both. It uses a lot of automation, and there is no, by the way, no human intervention. कि कोई जाके फिर they check what the candidate has written by human beings. No, that sort of intervention is not there. It's many places it's completely driven by automation and technology, and in some cases where scoring is mandatory for humans to intervene, that's where human beings intervene.
So you have two kinds of marking: human markers and automation.
Right. There are human markers,
and it's accepted by RCC.
Correct, and it's completely accepted and by IRCC, and that's the mark, big stamp of approval that we've got. And last but not the least, a lot of free study material, Nishant, for candidates. So they can access these study material as they want, and it's all over the public domain.
Great, wonderful. Okay, so Soumitra, I would like to bust a couple of myths by you. So I have searched the internet before this interview started. I searched the internet. I took the market reports. I took the feedback of my students. A lot of things I've conducted, and I've come up with a lot of myths. So I've made a list of these 10 myths. So I'm going to talk to you about them one by one, and let us see what you have to talk about them. So the first myth is CELPIP on a purpose keeps the scores lower so that test takers can apply for evaluation. Is it true?
It's an absolute myth, and I don't know how this comes about, because and how this is why candidates believe this, because this is it's not a completely human graded test. It's there is automation in this, and there is no human intervention.
Right. So basically, the listening and reading is totally checked by the machine.
Absolutely.
So this myth has been created in the market, right?
Correct. And someone is doing that, but we don't know who.
It just doesn't matter. You have to clarify your point. That's what matters.
Correct.
Okay. My second myth here is that everybody scores 9 to qualify this examination. Is it true?
I don't think that's correct, Nishant, because it's first of all, it's a automated exam, and there is no human intervention as such. And the other important thing is that different professions require different standards, and our scores are completely mapped to the Canadian language benchmarks, the CLBs. And any candidate can go to the IRCC site and check your requirements,
So what you're trying to tell me is if the CLP requirement is 5,
right,
CELPIP 5 is good enough.
Absolutely. It mirrors exactly to those CLB standards.
It mirrors exactly to CLB. CLB is the Canadian language benchmark, if I'm not wrong.
Correct. It's the Canadian language benchmark, and you can go to the IRCC site and also check it out.
So basically, you made the examination exactly as per what Canada requires.
Correct. And this is a specific exam for Canada. I mean, people and candidates don't take our test to migrate to Australia or to New Zealand.
It's a typical Canadian test. It's a typical
Canadian exam. Yeah.
So very preferred by the people of Canada.
Correct.
Okay. My third thing is the speaking test evaluates your Canadian accent. So I mean to say that in case you do not have a Canadian accent, you cannot score well in speaking. Is that true?
It's absolutely incorrect, because we are present in 180 countries, and I think all over the world people take our exams. So if somebody takes an exam from say an East European country, I mean that doesn't mean that they have to speak with a different accent. So it's accent neutral, completely accent neutral.
Accent neutral examination.
Absolutely.
Completely understandable. That's the
absolutely. That's the purpose.
That's the basic purpose of the examination. Great. Yeah. So my next is CELPIP is a very tough exam.
CELPIP is a very tough exam. No, not really. And this is, I think, one of the biggest myths that have been floating around for some time. And data that I have tells me that a lot of our candidates have cracked this examination in their first sitting. Maybe there's a 75 to 80% success in the first sitting. Unlike other tests, and because the idea is to test your English language proficiency in a conversational mode. I mean, we are not doing that for a academic setting of sorts.
Right. So basically, you are checking English in a very practical manner.
Absolutely. I mean, day-to-day English use, which you would require in your workplace in Canada.
Right. Yeah. So write an email, talk about a survey, things like that.
Absolutely. Those kind of things. And, describe a situation, So that's the kind of thing which is normally required.
Exactly. That is what is required in real life too.
Hanji. Yeah.
Okay, my next question is, the next myth is, and obviously question to you, does CELPIP have only 1 or 2 dates in a month?
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. And CELPIP is available over the weekends, and particularly we've ensured that weekend testing is available, because CELPIP is used by aspirants who are professionals. So we've ensured that they don't sacrifice their work hours to come and take an exam. So it's available during the weekends.
Great.
And it's all there, in all our test centers across the country.
Sixth myth, CELPIP has very few tests.
Sorry, I was trying to answer that in the previous question, Nishant. Sorry about that. Yeah, CELPIP is available in Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Gurgaon, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, Chandigarh, and recently we've added Jalandhar. And I wanted to assure test takers that we keep on evaluating the need for test centers depending upon where our markets are, and we'll keep on opening new centers as we move on.
That is great news. Absolutely great news. Now, CELPIP is very expensive. Myth number 7.
I want to really bust this myth, nip it in the bud, really, Nishant. CELPIP, we've deliberately kept the prices low, and we'll talk about pricing in the subsequent slide when we get to it. But I think, maybe there's a little surprise for test takers over there.
Lovely. I would love to hear the surprise. My 8th thing is there is no customer support for India.
No, absolutely wrong. Absolutely incorrect. I talked about our test centers, right? And all our test centers have very senior people managing these and who've been with Prometric for a very long time. And most of them are able to answer and advise candidates on what they should be doing if they get stuck on a registration process or where they need to escalate. So they can get across to any wherever they are. Suppose somebody is in Delhi and they can contact the New Delhi test center or contact the Gurgaon test center and they will get their answers. So
We'll have the details
absolutely,
in the description box below.
yes, and we'll
That's
put
wonderful.
that in the description box below. Yeah.
So what you are trying to tell me here is that these centers are capable for troubleshooting as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Lovely, lovely. My next myth is it's a very cumbersome process to book the examination.
Not at all. Absolutely incorrect. Because I think, to be honest, if you have everything ready, you can complete the whole process in 5 minutes.
True? 5
In
minutes.
absolutely 5 minutes.
That's great.
Yeah,
The last thing
that's
is
how.
this.
Yeah, that's how easy the registration process is. It's so user friendly, Nishant. And I don't know how this myth has really come about.
Okay. My last thing is it's very less practice material available in the market for CELPIP.
There are, again, I want to advise all our test takers that there is such a lot of free material available. Practice tests, videos, prep material, anything that you want is available. And if some candidates really want to buy some specific prep material, that is also available at a really discounted price for test takers. I mean, it's your choice. I mean, you can check out what is there in the public domain. You can buy material, everything available for the test taker.
Right. So there's a lot of facilities available. So what one needs to do is to search rather than relying on the myths of what is available.
Absolutely. I mean, if you can do a little search, you'll find everything there.
Search is very important here, right?
Yep.
So, so can you just elaborate on this?
So, these multiple support centers that we have, where we have our test centers, we have kept some of our support centers over there. And if there are certain things which the local test centers are not able to answer, they could be escalated to the respective teams over in our corporate office.
Lovely,
Okay.
lovely.
Okay.
The next thing was pricing.
Yeah. So this was the I was waiting for this when you would put this up, Nishant, because really, if you see this price is not going to last for long. It's a promotional offer. It is for some time, and at this point of time, as we speak, on 2nd of August, the price is 10,845, and you will realize that. When we've adhered very high quality standards, we've deliberately kept the price low so that it's affordable by most of our candidate base that we have, our test takers.
I believe this is almost 33% cheaper than what other tests are charging.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why, Nishant, I say that, these happy times won't last for long. Make use of this promotion time.
Right. So what about the dates?
So, like I said, I think dates are available for every weekend of the month, Saturday and Sunday. And there are multiple time slots in a day, and people can just choose what they have, what they need. And we've specifically catered to this kind of planning because of working professionals really need this.
You have customized and tailored everything for the working professionals.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Exactly. Those are the ones who are taking the examination.
Correct, because it's for immigration and professional designation.
Absolutely true. Very, very, very intelligent thing too. Very intelligent move. So you were talking more about how to book the examination. So I would like to know something more.
Yeah, so here's the thing, and Nishant, we have such a great network partner such as yourself, and other than going to www.celpip.ca, any candidate can visit any campus of Weber's, and they can book the exam for the candidate. So I think it's very easy. I mean, we've tried to offer that flexibility to candidates so that they can do whatever they choose to, whatever they really want. So
it was a very, very, this have got wonderful information. So I believe we must do another session based on CAEL and other session based on CELPIP too, because
absolutely,
there's a huge demand for you.
Correct. And just a point before we conclude, Nishant, I think the upcoming session on the Canadian academic English language test would be important, because both our tests now are SDS approved, as you know, and from 10th of August, candidates can apply through the expedited student direct stream and take any of our tests. So both tests. Yeah, both tests are approved through SDS. Yeah.
So much. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, Nishant. Thank you. You take care. Thank you. Bye.